Hello, beautiful, awakened, and evolving souls, and welcome to another video of concepts of the Law of One. Today, we're going to travel through the universe as love light and light love, two terms that are sometimes confusing, and it's easy to explore it now that in this series we have covered the primal distortions of the Law of One or of Unity, and that's going to make it much easier. So, as usual, the caveat that this is not a thorough explanation of what these terms are. It's a very introductory explanation of what it is, but hopefully it'll help you to see these concepts within the raw material in a way that is more helpful to create even better your model, or to refine the model that you are creating as reality. And love light and light love are definitely something that when you read it, you don't know what are they saying, and it's the same as time space and space time. So I don't think I have any videos so far, but if anything, you'll always find them here about love light or light love. So let's get straight into it. We already covered intelligent energy and primal distortions, which is going to make it easier to understand now what we're talking about with love light and the energy in general. Love light is in essence intelligent energy in split again. Okay, so remember, it's easier to keep in mind that infinity is infinity. It's just infinite. And once it comes into manifestation, we can keep splitting it into all sorts of things. We're very, very good at this as humans. We like splitting things and separating things and dividing them, because that is the purpose of creation. It's supposed to divide it into as many parts as possible as to explore it. So even there, I have to give it to science. Like, they really know how to divide things, and that is the way we study everything. So intelligent energy is already what you know, the kinetic of intelligent infinity, right? So you have intelligent energy, which is everything in the universe. Intelligent energy, if you remember from that video, is that manifested portion of intelligent infinity. Okay, so now we're going to explore how intelligent energy in fact is represented in the universe, and that's why we have the split terms of love light and light love. Now it's important to remember that the primal distortions, free will, love, and light, are implicit in this description of love light, light love. Now why? Because the only thing there is intelligent infinity, or infinity. The first thing that exists is infinity. Infinity becomes aware of itself, or becomes self-aware, and through that has free will. But it doesn't have, even though it's sequential, it doesn't have one and then it thinks about creating love, but naturally the next thing that follows after self-awareness is love. This is why, and I'll give you an example that is, it's just perfect. Babies are impossible not to love. I'm sure there are exceptions, but puppies as well are teeming with love, because they are an expression of pure consciousness. And you can see that in them, even if you don't understand them. I know psychoanalysis tries to put down the consciousness of the babies as something primitive, immature, and so on, but we know exactly what we're talking about. The more primitive and immature in the sense of maturity of adulthood, then we know we're talking about pure consciousness. So that's what we look for. And you see this free will, and you can see it as the baby too, the free will of the baby, that simply is the exploration of everything that there is, the infinity of the universe. A baby is marveled by the universe, by what it's seeing. They don't know what a black hole is or galaxies. They just know the universe as they see it. The universe is the room where they are, the car where they go in, the other babies that it plays with, the people around, and so on. So free will obviously creates love. So free will taps intelligent infinity, which is consciousness, pure consciousness, and thus it derives love. Now love comes into manifestation as light, and that's why love uses free will to create light. And those are the 3 steps to creating intelligent energy, which we're going to explore here. But again, I want you just not to bring it to the abstract alone, but bring it here. You can see that you have free will, or better yet, you are free will. And that free will naturally has love. You don't have to have free will and then think of love or say, well, because I have free will, I must create love. It's a natural thing that sprouts out of you. And thus, free will accompanies, or love accompanies free will, because love uses free will to create light. Now, how does that come about? Well, once you have awareness and self-awareness, all that you see here is light, is the manifested portion of creation. There is the unmanifested portion of creation, which is love. And that's something that you feel and cannot express or materialize or write and create a recipe for it. It's simply something that is ineffable, is indescribable, and it exists beyond this dimension of physicality. So these are the primal distortions working to create love light and light love, or rather intelligent energy, which we're going to split right now. Now, love light is the same thing as light love. There are 2 sides of the same coin. And what's important here is to, for pragmatic purposes, you can think of love light as the movement of the, or rather the unmanifested portion of intelligent infinity, which is everything that transpires in behind the scenes. You can equate it to time space, something that we don't see, that we cannot touch, yet it is there. Our thoughts are in time space. So we know that time space exists, even though we cannot bring it into manifestation. Although that's wrong to say, because there is the manifestation of time space or love light into light love, which is the expressed part of the universe. So light love becomes the manifested love light. So it's almost like the inside of something is love light, and the outside of it is light love, but they're one and the same thing. You can see light being that. If you see, there is an energy that the photon is moving about. There is a pattern. That pattern in which the photon or light love moves about, that is a pattern created by love light, which is infinite and not manifested. Now, love light is not the pattern itself. The pattern itself is light love. It is the creator of the pattern that is love light. So it's an infinite amount. Both are infinite, of course, but what we see is the finite portion of infinity. You can see how the infinity of possibility of patterns that we can manifest is love light, and the light is the kinetic portion. And that's what intelligent energy is in manifestation. The kinetic of intelligent infinity. That's their purpose, to create finite portions of the creation for experience. And so I hope this makes sense. If not, I'm going to give you another one that it's going to make a lot more sense. But consider that prana is also intelligent energy. This intelligent energy that we receive to be ourselves is love light. So all of that unmanifested self is love light that is there in potential. What is possible to create, and the logos designs this, which is probably the next topic I'm going to cover, so it keeps making sense progressively. But the logos creates this love light. In fact, the logos is the source of love light for us here, the sun, the star. And this love light moves through us as prana, or upward spiraling light, which is the same thing as love light. And this movement, this upward spiraling light, which implies evolution, that's their purpose. The purpose of prana is to create those patterns of movement that will eventually evolve into the ultimate goal, which is infinity. And that is the process of, like I always describe, energy becoming matter, matter becoming aware beings or plants, animals, and then self-aware beings as us, and so on down the chain of evolutionary process of 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th density. So that's important to keep in mind too. You can know that love light is that one thing that is feeding you and is allowing you to be. When you clear your energy centers, you allow more love light to flow through you so you can manifest light love, which is you. You are already manifested as light love. But the more love light you allow yourself to be, and that's by clearing the lower energy centers and balancing the fourth and fifth and so on, you allow this love light to manifest more as light love, which is what you are. And so there seems to be an expansion by you, and an expansion of your radius, if you will, your aura or your beingness is just expanding from this allowance of love light to flow through you. Now, if this doesn't make sense, I have a couple of analogies that I want to use. The first one is the music and the dancer. The music is love light. The dancer is light love. And now you can see you can't have one without the other. They're both one and the same. And you know that music is what's being played, and you cannot see it, but you can feel it. And the dancer is what you see moving. That's the pattern that is moving, all the motions that the dancer is making. And now if you can extrapolate this to light as we know it, not light love, but just the photon, which creates all sorts of patterns to create elements and molecules and organic molecules and so on down the chain again. And then you can see the upward spiraling light creating these patterns for evolution all the way up into infinity. The last one that I'm going to make, just so you understand what love light has a slash and light love has a slash to. Now imagine the physical chemical complex of the body. What is physical and what is chemical? There are two things that are both in the same. Just the physical, I will use the word physical as the form, the shape that we are. So I am a human, the human form, the physical, my physic is a human. However, I am made of chemicals, and there are chemical reactions that are going through my body to maintain this form. So you can see the chemical as love and light as physical. Physical is what's being manifested, what's being observed, seen, experienced. Whereas the chemicals, even though, of course, my analogy is sort of limited because we can see the chemical reactions, but don't get into science and laboratory here. Just the human perception only sees a human. Whereas inside there is chemistry going, which I cannot see. I cannot feel my pancreas secreting insulin, for example, but we know it happens. Now, in the same field of study of science that we know that the organs do certain things, in this field of metaphysical science, you can say that you know how love light works from the inside, our chemistry. And it's beautiful that we have this word chemistry to actually use for love. When two people have chemistry, it's because there is an affinity, and that affinity is love. So I didn't even think about that when I created the analogy, but that was perfect. All right, so this one is a short one, but I hope it explains a little bit more the terms that can be a little cumbersome when it comes to reading the raw material. And love and light, remember, that's why I put it into the colors, but love and light are heart and throat chakra centers. So we're talking about two very important parts of what we know. Light is also equated to wisdom. So just bear those two things in mind and always make these connections, because it will help you a lot to build your model, like I said at the beginning of the video. We are here to build a model of reality based on all the things that we encounter. This may be the last video that you watch on the Law of One. I just hope it's helpful. But this could be simply another video that you keep watching, or books that you keep reading. But all of those, I want to just emphasize this, they're all making you create your own model of reality. That's what I encourage everybody, not to be stuck with one text, one teaching, one guru, or a person on YouTube talking nonsense. So I hope you enjoyed this as usual. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next concept.